told his parents on Thanksgiving weekend that he was having discomfort in his groin. He found out on Christmas Eve that he would need chemotherapy to battle testicular cancer. Certainly not the kind of holiday season you'd expect when you're a high school senior. Fox 43's Todd Sadowski details the story of Manheim Township's Zach Johnson.
Well, graduation day for the 2019 senior class is less than a month away. Zach Johnson never dreamed he'd have to climb such a big hurdle in order to walk across the stage. Diagnosed with testicular cancer in December, he's met the challenge with courage and humor. While his top priority is, of course, to keep the cancer from growing inside his own body, he's already spreading the word of prevention to help other young men.
Obviously, cancer is like a big thing in America and society, but I never really thought that might happen to me.
All pediatric cancer is rare, and testicular cancer is no exception. And it's tough, right? I mean, teenage years in general are tough. We all remember what high school's like, and having to go through a cancer diagnosis and treatment is not easy.
It's not easy to go through, and for most teenage boys, it's not easy to talk about. Zach is an exception. He knew something was wrong and did not hesitate to let his parents know.
He didn't really at first describe it as pain. He said it was just like uncomfortable when he was, putting on a tight pair of jeans or something like that.
We waited a week to see if it would go away, and then we decided to call our doctor and schedule an appointment.
I made an appointment with the pediatrician first, and he looked at it and he said, no, you need to see a urologist. Ended up getting into the urologist and immediately said, after looking at the ultrasound, said, there's no way to sugarcoat this, it's cancer.
Me and my mom looked at each other when he told us. It was just kind of something that's super shocking, and you don't really know how to respond because it's something that you don't really think you're going to hear.
What happened next was intense treatment. A few days after the diagnosis, surgery to remove one of his testicles.
When we diagnose leukemia, we use a bone marrow biopsy, and we pull the bone marrow out and we look at it under the microscope to make a diagnosis. For something like testicular cancer, if you try to use a needle, you can contaminate the remainder of the scrotum with cancer cells, and that would automatically increase the stage and make it technically more difficult to treat.
A CAT scan revealed the cancer had spread. Chemotherapy was now necessary.
It was a 3-drug cocktail over 9 weeks, 3 cycles. The first week of each cycle was 5 days in a hospital, inpatient, and those were 3 of the drugs. 1 of them was every Tuesday, and the 2 were just in the hospital an hour each night. And so that went on for 3 weeks, and then that was 3 times.
Zach's body responded well. He was very tired, but not nauseous. The other good news, a window of opportunity to play volleyball for a couple of weeks in his final season with the Blue Streaks.
I mean, it's pretty cool. He hasn't really been able to play at much practice, but yeah, I was able to see him at a scrimmage, and he's definitely having fun, and that's all I want to see him do.
He's having fun and sharing plenty of laughs with his friends over the situation. Zach says a positive attitude and sense of humor are really important.
Being able to laugh at yourself is a good thing. Obviously, some people might think making jokes about cancer is bad, but being funny about it and make sure you can laugh once in a while is really good.
Any jokes or anything in particular you can share?
The nickname One Ball Johnson, that's what they call me now, which is very tasteful. But yeah, so I think it's funny.
I was not aware of that nickname, but thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna bring that up with him. Zach is a great guy. I mean, he's one of the most easygoing patients that you can ask for.
He's been heralded many times for speaking up about his pain. But it's one thing to discuss this stuff with your parents and friends. It's quite another to sit in front of a camera and share intimate details with our viewers. So the question I pose to Zach, why go public with your privates?
It's very important to raise awareness about things like this, and that it can happen to anybody, even a young, athletic, healthy person. It's not just for overweight, unhealthy, like smokers or something like that. It's very important that everybody needs to be checking for it, maybe like once a week, once a month, but it's super important just because it can happen to anybody, and you need to be looking out for yourself and others too.
But we both have sons in this age range. We can appreciate him spreading the awareness. Zach says this whole ordeal has made him a better, more confident person. And I'm a sports guy. We deal with a lot of numbers and statistics. Here's a few to keep in mind for Zach and his continued fight with testicular cancer. The age range for this type of cancer, normally between 15 and 35. He's on the younger side for sure. Zach had a second surgery on April 17th because the cancer spread to lymph nodes in the area. It was a 9-hour procedure. 75 lymph nodes were removed. The survival rate for testicular cancer is very high, with most estimates in the mid-90s. Zach's family deserves a lot of credit. His mom, Joan, dad, Hunter, his brother, Nathan, who is at Penn State. Zach's going to join him in State College next year. He made his choice. He already has plans to get involved with the Four Diamonds Fund and Thon, of course, which they have experienced.
Amazing attitude.
Yeah.
He's got all the Penn State garb.
Yeah.
And playing volleyball on top of it all
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He's ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Todd.